Imagine you are sitting peacefully on a couch, drinking tea, and suddenly everything stops. Literally. The Earth, our planet that has been spinning for billions of years, suddenly comes to a halt. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't gradually stop. It just, boom, stops rotating. What would happen then? Would we even survive? And if so, what would the world look like after such an event? Let's start with the fact that the Earth spins really fast. At the equator, the planet's rotational speed is about 1,067 kilometers per hour. That's roughly the speed of a passenger plane on a transatlantic flight. Now imagine that this speed suddenly drops to zero. If you are sitting on the planet's surface, your body is moving at the same speed as the Earth. And if the planet suddenly stopped, everything not anchored to the ground, people, cars, buildings, trees, would keep moving at that same speed according to the principle of inertia. This means massive disasters, shock waves, hurricanes, earthquakes, and above all, extremely strong winds. Literally, the entire world would be swept off the planet's surface. But let's assume for a moment that the stop isn't so sudden. Maybe it happened in some unrealistic but gentle way that didn't immediately destroy all humanity. What would happen next? The first and most important consequence would be that we would no longer have day and night as we know it. Currently, the Earth rotates around its axis, causing us to see the sun once a day and experience darkness once a day. That's what creates day and night. If the planet stops rotating, one half of the Earth would be constantly illuminated by the sun, and the other bathed in eternal darkness. In the place where there would be endless day, temperatures would rise to unimaginable levels, plants would wither, water would evaporate, and life, as we know it, would cease to exist. Meanwhile, in the dark part of the planet, temperatures would drop lower and lower, reaching levels where the air could freeze. Entire continents would turn into icy deserts. At the boundary between these two zones, eternal day and eternal night, a narrow band of life might persist, where the sun would be low on the horizon all the time. Some forms of life could survive, but conditions would still be extreme. Over time, this zone might shift due to other atmospheric and oceanic factors, but it would be a very unstable environment. What about the atmosphere? The stopping of the Earth's rotation would also have a dramatic impact on the air. Since the atmosphere also moves with the planet, its halt would cause huge storms and winds reaching supersonic speeds. The Earth would experience something comparable to a planetary air tsunami, a powerful wave of destruction sweeping across the globe. Additionally, the Earth's magnetic fields, generated by the rotation of the planet's core, could change or even disappear. Without the protective magnetic field, our planet would be exposed to direct cosmic radiation and solar wind. This would mean a higher risk of cancers, damage to electronic equipment, and a general decline in quality of life, if there was anything left to save. The oceans wouldn't remain unaffected either. Due to inertia, the water in the oceans would continue moving westward, causing massive tsunamis and changing the coastlines of entire continents. Some regions could be completely flooded, while others would dry up, exposing seabeds. Moreover, the lack of Earth's rotation means that water at the equator, where centrifugal force currently slightly lifts it, would move toward the poles. This would flood many polar areas, and equatorial regions might dry out. We must also not forget about gravity. Although gravity itself doesn't change, our weight felt at the equator is slightly less due to the centrifugal force from Earth's rotation. If the planet stopped, the felt gravity would slightly increase. That means we would become a bit heavier. This wouldn't kill us immediately, but would affect health, movement, and especially machines, buildings, and transportation. Everything would need to be adapted to the new conditions. The stopping of Earth's rotation would also affect the length of the year, not in terms of the number of days, because that would remain the same. The planet would still orbit the Sun, but since the day would have an infinite length, or rather, one side of the planet would be in constant day and the other in constant night, the calendar would lose its meaning. The seasons, which result from the tilt of Earth's axis, might still exist, but would only be felt in some parts of the planet, if anyone still lived there at all. Looking at all this together, one thing is certain. Life as we know it would not survive in its current form. Even if some people found refuge in that narrow zone between day and night, their world would be completely different. We would have to create a new way of measuring time, new methods of growing plants, new sources of energy. It would be a whole new chapter in human history, if humanity could even write it. Of course, the stopping of the Earth is just a thought experiment. In reality, there is no known force that could stop our planet in its tracks. But such considerations help us better understand how much we depend on seemingly simple phenomena like the planet's rotation. If you want to explore more fascinating topics and see the world from a completely new perspective, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with someone who also likes to ask big questions.